How would you describe that match all round, Glenn? Not only your own performance, but the sort of the surrounding, the rain and the to and fro and things like that?
There were definitely ebbs and flows throughout the game. You know, there was one stage when they were batting where I thought they were going to take it away from us, and then even with their bowling. But credit to both the boys with the bat and the ball to be able to pull things back in both fronts. So it was really good, especially for the crowd entertainment factor for the game to swing so much. You know, and I think that's what cricket's all about. As much as we can do to entertain the crowd, whether obviously we would love to whitewash teams and roll them any day of the week, but I think those are the best games of cricket, the ones that flow either way.
We just had the Bangladesh coach talk about his frustration at the delayed target set for them, and also the rain, fielding the rain. What were your thoughts on those two things? Were they frustrating for you guys too?
Obviously, that little stoppage in play, we weren't exactly sure what was going on either. But when we heard the information about there was a little bit of a mix-up with the scores, you know, I heard Jeff went over and apologised to both teams and just, you know, made sure it was all spick and span before we carried on the game. And, you know, in the end, both teams knew exactly what we were going for in the end. We had a rough idea of what the score was going to be heading out there to field, so it wasn't much difference to us. I think it was maybe 1 run difference. So for us, it's just part of adapting and flowing with the game as much as we can. So it didn't cause too much disruption on our part. And in the end, they took the game away from us for that little stage too.
And what about fielding out there and bowling and things like that with the wet ball? Was it treacherous or?
Actually, the ball was able to keep. Well, we were able to keep the ball more dry than I thought we were going to be able to. So, obviously, the groundies did such a good job of being able to get us back out on the field so fast. You know, there's always going to be a little bit of dew at night anyway, so the ball does get a little bit wet. But I think that the rain factor just added another element of adaptability that we had to take charge of, and I think the bowlers did really well to be able to execute under pressure with a wet ball.
How satisfying is it for you that you're evolving your game, not only hitting well, but now you're contributing with the ball too? That's what you want to do clearly. Is that an exciting thought looking ahead to what's on later in the year?
Oh, absolutely. I've been working on it for years and trying to push my case for a long time now. It was always for me just about getting the opportunity to prove that I can do it. And Tim's had faith in me for a long time. It was just about having the right chance to get out and prove that I can do that. And to be able to perform under pressure, especially when we were under the pump, that was really important to me, especially from my first game against Aussie, where I did feel the pressure and the nerves a little bit. So to be able to come back and improve from that last performance is really important to me.
Glenn, you touched on Tim just then, and Ish mentioned him after the last game and the confidence that he gives this group, which is obviously a young and slightly different team. What was his sort of message to you when he did bring you to the bowling crease? Obviously, Ish just had a tough over. What was that situation like?
In the end, my bowling plans are very simple, and he's faced me a lot in the nets. So I think he knows that my plan is very simple. I've got 2 or 3 balls, and he just backs me to know which ball to bowl and execute that ball. Obviously, if bowlers miss, they miss. I'm not the only bowler that misses, and I won't be the last. So he gives you that faith and that trust to be able to go out there and execute exactly what you want to do. And at this level, you're also required as a bowler to be able to take charge of your own field and where you want to bowl. So for me personally, I wanted to be as ready as possible so that when he gave me the ball, I already knew what I was going to do. Unless he had something specific in mind, my plan was always going to stay the same.
You just mentioned at the end how Pukalanga and the special place it has in your heart. I know you played for them this season as well as with your representative cricket. It's where it all started for the Phillips boys. Why is it so special to you, that place in the cricket club?
I think I had a lot to do with, obviously we grew up there, haven't played for any other club, but my dad was the club manager for quite a while, so I was definitely lucky in terms of being able to have access to the indoor facilities that others my age didn't necessarily have the luxury of. And it was a massive blessing because my dad would be able to take me down there early mornings. I'd train there before school, and then I'd come back after school and hit balls for hours on end. So a combination of a dedicated club and facilities as well as a dedicated father. So that mixed together just made it a really special place for me.
Just one more. How did you see Adam Milne his return out there tonight? Was he getting it through sharply? And what's the excitement about potentially him and Lockie teaming up at Eden Park on Thursday?
Oh man, it's going to be a ripper. Two guys that are bowling over 140. That's, not many teams have the luxury of that. Obviously, Aussie definitely does. And for us, with Milne being out with injury and being away with the Big Bash for a little while, it's really good to have him back on the scenes as well. And he's performed well, no end. So for us, for him to come back, perform, take a few wickets, bowl some bounces, bowl some heat, it would do his confidence a load of good. And especially for us, knowing that we've got that depth in our pace bowling lineup, it's really confident building.
All right, thanks very much, GP.